partnering with the Randolph Tucker Children's Advocacy Center, being able to donate the funds of this event to them. I am really excited about that. Because honestly, what a great organization, right? If anybody's going to be advocating for children, we should be excited about that. Because I mean, who else is going to? We know Ronald McDonald won't, right? I mean, look at the obesity rates in America. I mean, you think he really cares? He doesn't. I'll tell you right now, he doesn't. So there you go. See, look, and what's great is right now I have a few live audience members in my house. One of them being my wife, which is going to be exciting because you're going to hear her laugh because she has only heard a few of these jokes, and when I start cussing a lot, she's going to be really shocked. Just kidding. I'm not cussing. At least not that I remember. So that's that. I wrote these jokes. I'm gonna be looking down a little bit here and there, but there you go. No, but it's crazy to think that I sold this show out. I was getting a little nervous. I was like, okay, let's offer 20 tickets. Let's see what happens. And I was nervous, and you guys pulled it off. Thank you so much for making that happen, because there are some people in my life who honestly didn't expect me to amount to much at all. And all I have to say is, how you like me now, Grandma? Boom. Okay, I'm kidding. My grandma's a huge supporter of me. I'm sure she would have been on here, but she wasn't vaccinated. So I told her, not having that. I'm not risking your life and others just for a comedy show. And for $12, I mean, that was, after the fees that was presented, I don't even understand that. But there you go. And honestly, I mean, her fixed income anyway, she probably couldn't afford $12. So that's really, but and family doesn't get a free ride, in my opinion. Grandma, I love you, but pay up. That's it. But one of you guys bought her ticket, so thanks a lot for that. She'd be happy. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. My grandma, don't feel bad. See, it just teaches her to have a flip phone and not learn how to use the internet. Right? It's like that's on her. That's her fault. I mean, okay, let's be honest too. Like she wouldn't even really know how to be on here. She'd be asking like, "What'd you say? What'd you say?" And then probably have her hand raised button on the entire time. And everybody like, "Wait, what? Why is she trying to ask a question?" And I'd have to say, "Grandma, get the hand raise button down." It wouldn't work out very well. And the great thing about this is I have a few grandmas, so if they actually listen to this, they're gonna have to figure out which one I'm talking about, and they're gonna laugh at each other. And that's how I build up family camaraderie, is that they all find a way to laugh with each other and at each other. So that's always good. No, but these Zoom calls have been nuts. I've been on a lot of them. People here have been just talking about how crazy they are. How many of you guys are actually Zoomed out? Like, have been on Zoom way too much and just like, oh man, yeah. Well, that's even more of a thanks to you for showing up to this, because now you have to sit through me doing this for 30 minutes or so. And I thank you for joining. I laugh because Zoom shows you find yourself having to, like, I don't know about you. Maybe I'm the only one who does this, but I'm like, oh, I'm going to jump on a Zoom show or a Zoom call. I better go brush my teeth. I don't know why. It's like, for some reason, I feel like I have to brush my teeth before I get on a Zoom call. It's not like they've created some like virtual breath, scratch and sniff scent testing on a virtual thing. Why do we worry about that? But I'm like, brush my teeth. I gotta get on the Zoom call. I gotta do it. Now, wouldn't it be cool though if they did have that technology? Because then it would actually add on to your judgment call, right? Because right now, like, people don't have their video on, and instantly when people don't put their video on, you're already kind of trying to create a story as to why their video's not on, right? But if you had the scratch and sniff technology and somebody was sitting further away from the screen, you'd instantly be like, oh, why are you sitting so far away from the screen, buddy? Huh? Got some stank breath going on. I got you. But now with the video not on, you're like, oh, they're probably brushing their teeth. That's probably what they're doing. It's just how it works out. But I can't believe, I just saw a video recently too, and I can't believe that there's people who go to these shows or go on these calls without pants on. It's like It's like that's a bold maneuver. That's a really risky maneuver, a bold one, especially if you're on a call with me, because I like to go ahead and ask people about things in their background, just to kind of be like, "Hey, what's that behind you?" And when they say that, no, that, and it forces them to get up and walk, because then you can go ahead and find out what kind of weirdos you have on your call. So, hey, Stephanie, if you can just let me know. Just kidding. I'm not gonna, no, because. But seriously though, like, right now you're probably wondering, am I here with pants on or not? Because all you see is my shirt. I have some people here. You don't know what's going down. No, I have pants. That would be really bad. But now you guys are distracted because now you're trying to figure out who in the group is wearing pants. Right? Now you're not even hearing my jokes. You're not even going to hear the show anymore. Now you're going to be watching the audience, and there goes Margot. Margot's like, "Oh shoot, this is for my organization. I better go put pants on." No. Yeah, busted, Margot.
Pretty sure servant.
I don't know what that comment just
Can
said.
confirm.
But there you go. Okay. I love being distracted by that. That's fun. Anyway, no, I knew this was going to be on camera, and since I knew that the camera adds, like 10 pounds, so they say, I started to work out a little bit. I also started learning how to use filters, so that's kind of the practice, because I figured, hey, I got to look thinner, so either work out or figure out filters. So do I look slimmer to you guys on the screen?
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Okay, the filters
Yeah,
are
for sure.
working. Filters are working. That's good. That was a big bundle I had to purchase, so that's good. Because I'm really not that big or not that small anymore. So, but I started using a Peloton bike. I joined the Peloton cult. I just heard a woo. So other people in here are a part of the Peloton cult too. That's awesome.
Absolutely not.
Good. Yep. Yeah. It is really like a cult, though. It really is. It's weird. Like, I love the bike, but it's like, so you purchase the bike, but you don't necessarily own the bike until you tell people you purchased the bike and that you use it. So it's like now you have to like take pictures of it, and you have to make sure everybody like knows that you're on it, and look at all these things. Like I do it. I feel like it's great to have that kind of motivation for others, and just kind of like look what I'm doing. And plus, our leader has told us that it'll inspire better weight loss. So I'm really trying to make that work. Thank you, Lord Peloton. It's been great. No, but I do. I love the bike. I do. I love the bike. It's been great. It's been like a lifesaver for me. It's built up great energy, and I have lost weight, doing it, and also watching what I eat and doing things like that. It's been awesome. I'm not sponsored by Peloton. I know, looking at my neck down, you would think that. I know, and I know it's a shock. It's a shock. I know, but I really feel like I should be sponsored by them and Icy Hot, because I feel like I'm in constant pain. Because these man, it hurts. It hurts. After a while, you start to hurt. This is the first time I've actually taken water and taken a drink. I normally have water sitting by me, and I never touch it. I feel like I have to do it right now. But no, the for real, the trainers on Peloton are fantastic. They are. They really are. They are very motivational, very inspirational. I want to get to their level one day because of what they can do, like, and how they do it. These people are pedaling and breathing normally. While coaching us through these rides. I don't know how it happens, but like this isn't just like the warm up. I'm talking like through the ride. So it's like they're 30 minutes in and they're still talking about how awesome things are and how great things are, and you're like, I don't know what your problem is. I don't know what, like, but I'm dying. In the warm up, I'm like gasping for breath. Like you have 3 minutes, maybe 5, to warm up before the big ride, and I'm already breathing heavy and look like I'm like soaked from a bucket of water. And these people are like, "Look at me, I'm Joe, wee, woo, woo," and I'm like, ridiculous. You guys are killing me right now. Like I don't understand it. They're like, oh, look at us, we're great, you know. And then what's great about it is like, oh, they want to go ahead and say, look, we're gonna go ahead and slow down right now, and they're like standing up and like doing dances. Like who dances while riding bikes anyway? Like these guys, they're like, oh yeah, do this while you're riding. It's like no, I'm dying. I am dying right now, and you're gonna ask me to dance? Morbid. That's a morbid. It's like jacked up system that they have. But no, then they say, okay, well, hey, it's the 30-minute ride is up. We're gonna go and end here. We could keep going though, but we know that we want to keep you motivated and keep you inspired. So we're gonna go ahead and slow down. We're gonna actually stop the ride, because we're here for you and your soul. Right? This is what happens at the end of the ride. This is what they don't advertise. This is actually something that happens. So if you want in on this, just go ahead. It's like an MLM. I have some candles, essential oils, and Peloton. So I probably just lost a couple of you. You're like, how dare you attack essential oils? Like, don't worry. I mean, I really don't even know what they do. I just your essential oils, and I'm like, sweat. That's an essential oil. I don't know. Crisco. I don't know. Does that count? But thanks a lot, Peloton. I want to thank Peloton for motivating me and inspiring me to get better and to purchase an oxygen machine. It's been fun. But now I've lost over 50 pounds though since November. It's been exciting. I see some. I'm imagining you're clapping right now, and some of you are muted. Some of you are muted. So I'm just gonna imagine that you're clapping. That was actually a part of the setup, and that didn't happen. Most people are kind and celebrate when somebody does something. On Zoom, we're like, we're zoomed out. He just talked about something fantastic. We don't want to cheer for that, but it's like, oh, thanks, guys. Woo. Okay, well, anyway, I have lost 50 pounds, and I'm excited about it, whether you are or not, because I can live longer. So there you go. But I have had some weight loss guilt, though. I really have. It's been great to lose it, but before, like, I always knew that if I was ever in, like, I don't know, a wicked snowstorm with friends, or if we crashed in an airplane in the Alps, that they could survive off of me. Like, I knew that was going to be something I could offer myself as a tribute. It was like I could say, look, guys, hey, listen, take my life so you can live, you know, because that's what I knew my role. And now that I've lost this weight, it's like I don't know if they're going to be able to survive. Like nobody can. So now it's like I have to find a new person to invite on the trip.
Took a dark turn. Wow.
I lost it. This is where it gets live. This is where it gets real. And yep, there you go. No, but all right, back. But no, let me get through this joke. But no, like I think about it, and I'm like, I've watched Alive. I've seen the Donner Party. I know what happens, right? I know what's supposed to happen. So if I lose that role, then it's my responsibility to find somebody to replace me. So, so anyway, it's kind of like I kind of feel like Peloton has saved my life in a couple different ways, really. So there you go. At least I'll be, yeah. The person I take with me though should feel honored. I mean, I mean, really, like let's think about this. Let's just think about this. Like these are my shoes, right? And this is what I've been a part of, and this has been my role. I'm gonna find somebody to help to be a hero, basically. And so I'll tell their story. So that's what it's all about. But some of you guys might be saying, like, man, okay, how much longer is he going to talk about his weight loss? Well, as long as I can. No, I mean, honestly, it's like, This is where it gets difficult. I've been reading these. I tell these jokes. I'm like, oh man, this is fun. But no, I love being able to talk about that. My weight loss has been great, and some of you guys are gonna be like, dude, he's bragging about it. I'm not bragging about it. I'm just telling you guys I'm hungry. And it's been difficult. There's a big difference. There's a big difference between bragging about it and just trying to cry for help. Because that's really what it's been. But I am glad though that I don't have to take a shower with clothes on. Because honestly, I kept doing that because I wanted to be able to tell people I don't even weigh 400 pounds soaking wet. Because for some reason that's a thing. I don't really get that. Like why people say like, oh, he's not even 100 something pounds soaking wet. It's like, how do you eye that up? Like, how does somebody eye that up? How do you look at somebody like, oh, I bet if they were soaking wet, they're not even 130 pounds. It's like really? Like, are you going around soaking people and then weighing them and just like telling to make this comparison? Like, I don't get that. But I was doing it because I just want to be able to say that. At least I'm not weighing that soaking wet. I've always kind of felt like that was a good plan. It's always funny when I think about that because so I have a weird phenomenon. Let's talk about this a little bit. So after Peloton, I work out, right? I work out. I do this thing. I weigh myself before I work out because I know that I'm going to be like sweating and all that stuff. So it's like, okay, cool. I know I'm going to be like losing a couple pounds. And then I go weigh myself after working out. So people are like, oh my gosh, she's got a problem. I might, but I weigh myself after working out. And then I go, and then I'm like, okay, look, I calculated correctly. But then I take a shower and I weigh myself again. I don't know why I did it, but I did it the first time. I saw that I lost at least a half a pound to another pound. So I started thinking, let's try this again. And I started seeing that after showering and drying off, I was losing about a half a pound to another pound. I was like, this is fantastic. It's a weird phenomenon. I don't know. Maybe I have a very rigorous showering that I don't I thought about that. I thought maybe like, am I scrubbing like extremely hard and it's like burning calories? Is it the fact that I have a 50-pound jug of body wash that I bought from Sam's Club because that's what they sell? I mean, maybe that's it, or maybe it's the Old Spice Bear Claw body wash that I use because Bear Glove. It's like it's fantastic. It gets me like excited. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but somehow I still lose weight after showering. And now when I go to the doctor, like, hey, how much do you weigh? And I'm like, well, it all depends. Is this pre-workout weight? Is it post-workout weight? Is it post-shower weight? Is it soaking wet? I can talk to you about when I'm soaking wet. Let's see about that. There's several different options here, doctor. Let's talk. Which one do you want? I've been watching 90 Day Fiance. That's not the joke, people. But that's real talk. I watched 90 Day Fiance. How many of you guys watch 90 Day Fiance? Anybody else want to admit it?
Ain't a chance, no.
Nobody else is admitting it. That's okay. That's okay. Because this isn't really about 90 Day Fiance. This is actually what happens when you fall asleep watching 90 Day Fiance. Because then you tend to wake up as you're hearing talk of a pimple being popped. For some reason, the channel that was the learning channel has turned into a channel that we learn about people who are extremely desperate and dirty. And I'm like, this is really interesting to me that this is what we're learning now in our culture. Is that our way of learning is to learn about somebody who is baffled by the fact that their relationship is doomed to fail because they met somebody overseas and then try to bring them back to a different culture and expect to marry them in 90 days. Okay, that's a great learning experience. And then you have a doctor who is using her career that she went to school for to be on this channel to pop pimples. I don't get it. But then there's people like me who get the popcorn to watch it. I don't know who's worse. I really don't. But then I'm also wondering too, because you guys paid to watch me make these jokes. So who's worse now? You're watching somebody who watches jokes. And you paid for it. I'm stealing that from my parents. What's up? Okay, I'm just kidding on the stealing part. They've given me permission. But always kind of wondered though, like, how do you sign up for a show like that? Like, hey, I really want somebody to know how desperate and dirty I am. Do you have a show for me? Like, I don't understand how they do that. I really don't. It's just something that they do. But I think also, like, I started watching these shows because obviously, like, pandemic. Okay, I may have watched it before the pandemic, but I started watching a lot more during the pandemic. And I found it because, honestly, I started getting bored of watching animal cams. Anybody familiar with the wildlife animal cams that you can watch, like from the zoos and stuff like that? Here are the pandas and the gorillas and the kangaroos you can watch, and it's like, oh, that's fantastic. Some reason those became really popular during the pandemic, and I started thinking about why. We could finally relate to the animals a little bit, can't we? It's like, here they are trapped in a cage. They can't experience the world around them. And here we are trapped in our cage, not experiencing the world around us. Let's just go ahead and experience the sadness together, right? Kind of how that went down, I think. It's kind of interesting, like, because it's like you think about, oh, look at these animals pacing back and forth, waiting for food. Look at us pacing back and forth, figuring out what snacks we're going to have. Gorillas throwing poop at each other. Look at us trying to find toilet paper so that way that doesn't happen. Right? This is how the pandemic went down. Speaking of sadness and animal cams, who else is excited that the election season is over? Yeah, that's a woo moment. I'm not going to make a political, I'm not making a political statement or anything like that because I'm not vulgar enough to do it. But but honestly, though, there is something I learned a lot about people during the election season. I really did. It was really interesting to watch what went down and to see how people interacted. I'm just saying that it seems that we are primarily about people, is that we're easily willing to settle for results, right? Dead silence on that one. Because we all know that's not true. But I'm not talking about the election result. I'm talking about how easily we settle for American Idol, Masked Singer, and America's Got Talent results. Think about it. We settle for Nick Cannon telling us who wins every single week. It's like, oh, yeah, so that person lost. Okay, and we accept it. We are willing to accept it. What I learned from this election is that we don't have to settle for those kind of results anymore. You don't like who lost. Let's have some fun, people. Fox is going to be in some trouble. That's all I got to say. Because the next time I watch one of those shows and they release one of my monsters or whoever earlier than I expect them to, and I voted for them, so I know that they won, I am going to be marching into Fox's new channel network. I'm going to take care of business. Who's coming with? I also realized too, I settled for a lot of results, like around my 8th grade student election. I ran for president of my 8th grade class. I really did, and I lost to an applause-o-meter. I lost to a person taking her hands and doing this whenever she asked a question to see if the students agreed with her. I ran a legitimate platform of no homework on Fridays, vending in the cafeteria and hallways. A legitimate, now, really poor false claims that I could ever do anything with, but like a true politician, that's in 8th grade, right? I made false promises that I could not match up to, but I did what every politician does, and I lost to this. I'm like, wait a second, free homework. I see it. So now what I've said is I'm taking a few of my classmates that we've talked. I've said, listen, we're going to my school and I demand a recount. I am going to be president. I don't care. I'm not settling for this junk. Over. This is America and I'm not going to stand for it. Work. Can't settle for this stuff anymore. So here's the real lesson, though. Here's the real lesson, seriously, because after what we saw after the election and what we saw, even or all this stuff, like it was crazy, it was heavy, and I know. And I'm not going to make light of that. But okay, maybe I might. But the thing is, though, is like we don't have to settle for results. And so this is what I'm saying. Eminem vote for Flavor. You better get your act right. You better watch your step, because I guarantee you we will be visiting if you don't choose the flavor that I want. Watch your step. That's all I got to say to that. But seriously, do you ever wonder why we put more into like the obstacle course for American Ninja Warrior, but we settle for a lame debate between the presidents? I've seriously been watching this, and I've been wondering, like, why do we watch an American Ninja Warrior competition? They go through all these crazy things to become American Ninja Warrior, but a president just has to stand there and make a debate. This is my thing. Every 4 years, presidential election, there's the Olympics. Let's have the top go through a decathlon. Let's see them go on. And after their bike ride, after their swim, they have to go ahead and make conversation and have debate. Because I want to see, because let's face it, we are going against countries whose leaders are trying to watch our president, see who's in our seat. So they want to see. So let's go ahead and show them. Let's show them who's boss. Let's show our president being strong and getting through it. And let's see if they have the mental capacity after swimming, after riding, to answer questions and get through these things and to be able to make up a flight of airplane stairs. And that'd be fantastic. Yeah. Is that airplane stair coming too soon? It's okay. It's okay. I've done it. I've fallen up steps too. And it happened. And I believe my 8th grade opponent did it too, and that's why I knew that she wasn't fit for the job. So there you go. I'm coming for it. I'm coming for it. This is not over. This is not over. Oh man. Okay. Anyway, Let's get out of that conversation. Let's get to this. I miss being able to go to the gym. I do. I love the Peloton. I talked about that. I love doing all that stuff. I miss being able to go to the gym. And some people are like, oh, the gyms are open. They're safe there. No, they're not. No, they're not. You know why? Because I've seen the way people clean after themselves at the gym. I've seen people working out, sweating all over the equipment. I've seen people sleeping on the equipment. Listen, you do you. If you want to get away, I know what that's like. I want to get away, so go ahead and take a nap on the bench. That's okay. But it's cheaper than a hotel room. Do what you got to do. But I've seen the way people clean. I've seen that, oh, look, there's a whole lot of sweat here. I'm just going to take a paper towel and wipe it up. I'm not going to use the cleaner. I'm going to just wipe it up with a paper towel. And then, like, one time I saw this one person working out. She grabs this spray bottle with the supposed cleaner in it. I don't even know what's in there. And the nozzle's broken. You know what she does? She walks over and does this. Psst, psst. She made the noise with the nozzle. She didn't even, that's what she did. And then she wiped it up. I'm like, this is not okay. That is why I won't go to the gym right now. I won't. I know how people clean up after themselves. It's just not something that's going to be good. And honestly, I'm also tired of the weird looks that I get at the gym. So I have some weird treadmill habits. I tend to scream while on the treadmill. Now, this is, see, people look at you like you're weird. Wait, what? You scream? Now listen, hear me out. I want to make my running realistic. You people in the park just running in place as you're walking by, just standing there running in place. You don't see that. That's not realistic to me. You know what gets people running fast and at high speed is when they're being chased, right? So if you want to make a treadmill experience like a real thing, I'm going to pretend like I'm being chased. Apparently doing this, get away! Apparently people don't like that. And they look at you like you're weird. I'm just saying I'm making my realistic running experience happen on the treadmill. I'm not going to settle for mediocrity. I'm going to push myself hard. And the only way I'm going to do it is by pretending like I'm being chased. I think treadmills should make it more realistic and have a dummy button where you press the button and a dummy comes out from behind, right? And it scares you so much you want to run fast. But now here's the catch. The dummy has a knife, right? And so now you're like, this is where you are running faster and you are pushing yourself because why? You're not going to settle for that. You are not going to be stabbed by a fake dummy, and you're not going to be able to tell your friends about that. How'd you get stabbed? Well, the dummy button on the treadmill at the gym. They're like, you couldn't even run fast enough than a fake dummy with a knife? No, I couldn't. I said it. It was weak. What about having a zigzag treadmill? Just imagine that. I mean, you never know when an alligator, like alligators come out of nowhere. You got to be prepared. So let's train. Let's train for that moment. So start zigzagging on the treadmill. Start working on that treadmill. Somebody needs to come up with a zigzag treadmill for that opportunity that's going to arise when an alligator is going to pop out of nowhere and you have to run in the zigzag. Because apparently you're supposed to do that. That's what I read. That's what happens. Maybe this is how you're going to make Olympics better. Like, I think you can make the Olympics better. I think that when you have the runners, like sprinters, start having explosives going off behind them. We're going to have world records every single Olympics, and it's going to be amazing to see happen. On the daily, you're going to see people sprinting, and it's like, right? Just imagine that. Imagine the long jumpers. Long jumpers. If they don't jump far enough, quicksand. Like, this is fantastic. You jump far enough, you're sinking, and that's a bummer. But hey, you know what? You did it for your country. That's what's fantastic. And I don't think that there's enough awareness being made about quicksand in this world. And so, what a better platform than the Olympics? Right? So let's go ahead and bring that up. Let's talk about that, because I feel like this is what the Olympics needs. This is what the world needs, in my opinion. Is go ahead and just create some great obstacles that would make the Olympics better. The pole jumpers, they're going over, that they don't land on the mat, or no, forget the mat. Shark Tank. Let's just go and see if they can make it over the Shark Tank. If not, well, hey, they did it for the country, right? Patriots, that's what they are. That's what we do. All right, so, okay, I'm going to go and close out with this, because I can tell, it's like, okay, how much longer are we going to have to deal with this? Hey, you paid for it, not me. But this pandemic has made things hard on people, right? We know that. That's why I wanted to make something laughter. I want to go ahead and do something here. It'd be fun because, homeschooling, trying to figure out how to work from home, figuring out what pajamas you're going to wear for the day. It's been difficult, right? These choices are heavy. And so, but one of the things that I've found is having conversations with people has been a little bit more difficult, especially in this season. I feel like people have been trying to figure out how to talk to each other, especially through the internet, trying to figure out tone, how your voice goes, and changes, and how people like understanding what you're trying to say. Like, people can't hear your tone. They don't know that. And you're also trying to figure out, tell if you're really as dumb as people think you sound, as you're, and that's always difficult too. It's like, oh, I just typed that out. I hope it doesn't sound too dumb. And people are jumping on you like, oh, yep, I guess I sounded dumb. That's what happens. For instance, I got into a Facebook debate I did with somebody. I don't even remember what the argument was fully about. I just remember that she was trying to make me sound dumb. And I know that it was about like self-publishing or traditional authors. And we were going back and forth about it. And I can't remember everything about it. But she was adamant that traditional publishers are the way to go. And she was going back and forth with me. And I don't remember the argument fully, but I do remember how it ended. Because she tried to make me sound dumb because I put too many commas in my reply. She's like, yeah, you're putting too many commas. You must not be very intelligent. And I was like, well, I mean, it depends on if you're talking about the Oxford comma or the not comma. And I guess I proved her point, because I was like, I don't know what the other comma is. And then she was like, you are a simpleton. And I was like, I was taken aback. I was really, honestly, I was hurt. I was kind of shocked by somebody saying that to me, because I honestly was like, how could she tell? The picture of my profile is my son. How could she think that I'm a simpleton? Like, why would she even say you are a simpleton? And I just told her, who's dumb now? Apparently you can't tell weight. I'm a simple 230, close to being a simpleton. I was like, you better watch your mouth, lady. I said, how dare you come at me in this way? I think I proved my point. All right. Well, hey, folks, I am done with the show on this comedy piece. I thank you guys so much for being a part of this. And then we will go into a conversation here in a second.
All right. Give it up for Bobby Benavides. Woo!